Sessions and Lessons Unscripted.
Let's go.
And now your hosts, Joel and Gloria Rosario.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Joel, getting Spanish lessons from my wife. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. This is Joel, host of Sessions and Lessons Unscripted. Here in front of me is the lovely Gloria Rosario.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. She was trying to teach me Spanish. Actually, no, she's starting to adopt Puerto Rican Spanish.
Oh my gosh.
She's turning her R's into L's.
Instead of saying puerca, I said puerca with an
She
L.
totally did. She totally said it the Puerto Rican way. Now everybody listening, she's turning into a Puerto Rican.
Oh, I'm
The
a
horrors.
Puerto Mexican.
Well, that's kind of funny because when I'm out in public, since I'm married to a Mexican, I've adopted some of the terminologies and whatnot, and they're like, "You're Puerto Rican," or it's like, "Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm married to a Mexican."
And vice versa. Sometimes I might say like a weird word that they say in Puerto Rico, and they're like, "Are you Puerto Rican?" I was like, "Nah, my husband is. I am Mexican."
Those used to be fighting words. I don't know about now. I always thought that was kind of stupid.
What, the
Well,
Puerto Ricans against the
Yeah, I never had anything against anybody. It's like that's like I want to say it's a manufactured thing, but it is kind of a thing.
I don't know. Joel is Puerto Rican and I am Mexican, and we are here uniting two nations, baby.
That's right. We're gonna start a whole new race.
I think it's been done before, dear.
A whole new alien species. But yeah, she's starting to say
I'm starting to drop my R's.
she's not rolling her R's anymore.
It's
Bleh.
Puerto Rico.
No, we still say Puerto Rico.
How can you? How do you guys say Puerto Rico, but you can't say puerco?
Or we say carro,
Carro.
arroz.
Yes.
It depends on the word, I guess,
And
because
it's
some
for
words,
a
yeah.
person, because I've had people that I've met that were from Puerto Rico, and some of them have the really heaven Puerto Rican.
Oh, it's
like,
ridiculous. I have family members. I don't even understand what the heck they're saying half the time.
yeah.
It's like, can you slow down and repeat that, please? It's like, geez, man.
No, I used to have a lot of Puerto Rican coworkers at one point,
Mhm.
and they thought that I was from Puerto Rico until I started speaking Spanish with the R's.
Uh,
And they're like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Oh, I'm from, well, I was born here."
well, you guys speak more, like, I guess, proper Spanish, for lack of a better word, but, like,
It's
Puerto
not
Ricans,
proper.
it's slang. It's all slang.
No, we have a lot of slang words too. And,
Well, you do.
right. But different parts of Mexico refer to the same thing, but with different words.
Mhm.
It's weird.
Anyways,
Anywho,
for the one that's left listening right now,
hello, one person.
hi, one person. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are having a good one. We're doing good. There's a lot of noise going on out there right now. I don't know what's going on. There's a birthday party or
They're
something.
having a pachanga, which means a party.
Yeah. So anyway, Gloria wanted to kind of take the floor today. We kind of touched on it in another episode. A lot of stuff been going on in the background. For those who don't know, Gloria is a caregiver. One of her main people is her grandmother, and she has some issues, there's Alzheimer's and dementia, and I mean she's up there in age.
Yeah, she's 89 years old.
Mhm. And yeah, it was last week Sunday.
Yeah.
She needed to be rushed to the ER, and I won't get into it too much. Gloria can kind of touch on it, but she kind of wanted to share some stuff. So She'll be probably she'll be leading this one today.
Be afraid.
Yes. So then we'll have 0 listeners after.
I'm sorry.
So what was on your mind, Gloria? What was going on?
Oh boy, it's been such a roller coaster of a week. Without getting and giving too much of my grandmother's personal,
No.
stuff. I'm gonna talk about it, but just generalize it.
Mhm.
My
Well, it kind of brought up an issue. Well, not an issue, but a subject that you were telling me about how people deal with uh, the sick family or even potentially losing someone. I myself have experience in that too. So, hospital visits and all that kind of stuff. It's to this day, it's just like, I guess a major ick for,
no, it sucks.
yeah.
I hate hospitals. I've been in and out of the hospital, not so much now, but I was hospitalized. I think the longest time I've ever been in the hospital was like 4 months
Mhm.
in a hospital. And then as an adult, I think is when around the time that we met. I don't know how
Well,
long.
you had your accident.
Well, no, after my accident, I wasn't hospitalized for that. But I'm talking about, remember when we started dating and I called you to cancel a date because I was in the hospital?
Hmm.
That was when you had to drive me home.
Yeah.
You remember? Yes.
And then it was like 2 a.m. or something like that. We were going to pick up medicine or something.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. You were laying on the couch and you were like in real bad shape. And then I had to go out and
Yeah, I had basically. I don't know how long was I in the hospital for? Like 2 weeks,
something like that.
3 weeks, something like that. I don't remember how long I was in there for. But I hate being a patient.
Honestly, I've never stayed in the hospital.
Never.
Never.
I would not recommend it.
I mean, me as the patient, I haven't stayed in the hospital.
Right.
As someone else as a patient, yes.
Right. No, I've been in the hospital, like I said, a total of maybe 2 times where I was hospitalized for like a while.
Mhm.
And I hate it. I hate being a patient. And I'm
Well, I don't think anybody likes to be a patient.
no, but I'm the worst type of patient because I know how the medical field works.
Well, yeah.
So, they can't. There's a lot of stuff that happened for that hospital stay. I don't know if you remember. And I don't want to get into it right now because this is not what it's about.
Right.
I just hate being a patient. But I hate visiting hospitals even more.
Yes.
The smell of the hospital, it's just. I don't-
Oh,
if-
were you telling? I know I had an issue with the hospital. I mean, hospitals have
a certain smell.
yes, particular smells, like their hand soap, for example. That was one thing that would get me every time. Like, I've washed my hands so many times in hospitals. Like, then if I go to a public place and I use the soap and it's like the same soap, or
You reckon
right away, yes, like right away, you know the
the
smell.
smell
Yep.
of that soap. I don't know. It's just the hospital has some, not necessarily a bad smell, but a smell you memorize if you're there enough.
Yeah, it kind of sticks with you.
Right. It's not necessarily a bad smell. It's like for me, it smells stale.
Hmm.
Just like very, cleansed, stale,
Well, sterilized.
sterilized.
Yeah.
Yes. Stale, sterilized, disinfectant.
Hmm.
And of course, other smells.
Yeah.
But it's not a good place to be, and it sucks. So basically, I just counted the days, and my grandmother's been in the hospital for exactly a week now.
Yeah. Like I said, last Sunday
Yeah.
night, you had to rush out.
What time?
That was like
It was like-
9:30.
Actually, I think we had just finished recording an episode,
Yeah,
and then right after that, my mom called.
Mm.
Not a good situation. We're not sure which direction my grandmother's gonna go in right now. It's a lot of tension right now, and it's been difficult.
Mhm.
It's difficult for me to, see my mom go through the situation because, this is my mom's first time being with a parent who's passed. When my grandfather, her husband, passed away, he passed away rather quick while he was in Mexico and we were here in the
Yeah, it
U.S.
was like a sudden.
Sudden, just quick, gone.
Mhm.
With my grandmother, she has this habit of every year going to the hospital for, a week.
Yeah, since I've known you, it's been
Yeah.
like that every year.
Usually it's around, and this is going to sound so weird, but it's anywhere from October to March, sometimes April. Around that time is like a critical time for my grandma. Of course, everybody's getting sick and it's winter, there's germs, COVID, all sorts of things that are rampant around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed kind of weird that my grandma hadn't gone to the hospital. We had just been mentioning it about a month ago, like, man, this winter grandma didn't go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here we are. With my grandmother being 89 years old, it's just like, you never know. But this lady,
Mm-hmm.
she just refuses to lose the battle.
Yeah.
There were times in the past where we thought she was going to pass. And 2 days later, she's up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
It seems like there's like almost like an inner struggle or something going on because it's like her body's telling her, okay, that's enough. And then,
But her spirit is...
yeah, she's like, nope, we're not going nowhere.
Yeah, so this time it's a little different. We're all just, like I said, it's hard for me to see my mom go through it because she had never gone through it with her father.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just watching my aunts and my uncles interact with my grandma, and now we have cousins coming and people coming from out of town. It's never been. I mean, last year when she had the stroke, it was bad,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden she got good,
And she made it.
and she made it through it. I've been working with her so much,
And she made a lot of progress after that, right?
right? I worked with her so much, and she was at the point where she was wanting to get up and do things for herself.
Well, then she did start getting up and
Yes.
stuff from, yeah.
And that is like so dangerous for my grandmother. She's not 100%. Last year when she was in the hospital, I told everybody, grandma's not going to be 100% anymore. I can get her to about maybe 75-80% of what she used to be, but she'll never be back at 100.
Right.
With physical therapy.
Well, she's not getting any younger.
No, but my grandmother, like I said, she has that fighting spirit that she just is like, hell no,
I
we won't
think
go.
it's a Latino thing.
It's a Latino
It's like,
thing, and
I'll go when I'm ready.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just been difficult. Like I said, it's just I have this is kind of weird for me to talk about. I'm not a very emotional person. I only have two emotions. Either I'm super happy or super stressed out. There is no in between. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, I'm a really happy-go-lucky type of person.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I have emotions that range, and I don't cry very often. And during this whole process with my grandmother, I think I've only broken down once.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're talking about this instance or altogether?
No. I mean, in the past when I've talked to you about it, like when she was in the hospital, I broke down a few times at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really do that in front of my family.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. And this was the first time that I actually broke down in front of my mom, my uncle, my
And
brother.
you're allowed.
I'm allowed, of course,
Of course.
But I'm so detached right now that I don't have emotions about it. Like, I of course I'm sad.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But I'm in a position where I have a lot of eyes on me, and I'm trying to help everybody kind of process things.
Well, you're trying to be the glue to hold everything together.
Right. And it's hard, because I tend to bottle up my emotions until I can't anymore. And it's just like, I think I'm at the point right now where I'm just in flight mode. I have to stay level-headed so I can't get too emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the medical training and the situations that I've been in the past kind of prepared me for this moment to where um I'm more level-headed than I thought I would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have support. Obviously, I have you, I have my brothers, I have, um other family members that I can talk to. And it's just a hard process to see someone just decline. My grandmother's been healthy. I mean, she's had surgeries in the past, but that was like 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, she has been in awesome health up until recently. Besides the dementia and the Alzheimer's. And it's been such a hard process to kind of see her declining because I'm so used to. I remember when we used to go to Mexico and visit her. She was always go, go, go. She was so strong. Even in her older years before she, got diagnosed with Alzheimer's, she would carry logs
Mm.
on her head. And she would carry like these big baskets of like laundry on her head and just feeding the pigs and just helping my grandpa, run the land. And she would get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning to make breakfast. And I'm not talking about just like eggs. It would be like fresh eggs, and it would be beans that they picked from their farms, and vegetables that they picked from their farms. And she used to make tortillas, like the flour tortillas.
Those are the best.
Oh man. And she wouldn't just make like 30. It would be like 100, 200 tortillas because it was
Well, they used to feed like all the workers too,
all
right?
the workers, us,
Mm-hmm.
and then she'd try to make them to last all the way to lunch.
Right.
And then she'd start all over again, just, with the tortillas. And, she was such a strong person. So now seeing how she is so surreal to me because I've always known that this moment was going to come,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still not ready for it. And I guess that's what I want to talk about today. How have I been dealing with the stress? Because it is very stressful. I basically leave at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to get there, and I've been there basically from 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning to like 7, 8 o'clock at night. And then I come home and it's just, I don't have time for anything because I'm like in the hospital, and it's just like,
Which is understandable. I mean, you gotta be with your
course.
family, yeah.
of course, there is nobody forcing me to be with my grandmother. I am there because that's where I want to be. If I was any other type of person, I think I would just be like, okay, let my family handle it.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, but then that's also part of your job.
yes,
Right.
no, my job is to take care of her for however hours I'm allotted. But she's my grandmother. She's not one of my patients. She's my one and only patient, my one and only client, and me and my grandmother really didn't see eye to eye. We don't really talk about religion, but my grandmother is a Jehovah's Witness. I am not.
How religious was she? Was she
Oh.
pretty?
She has been in the religion since she was young.
Mhm.
My
You would say that she was devout.
she was super devout.
Mhm.
And me, I'm not religious.
Right.
We never saw eye to eye on a lot of things. But when I was younger, my grandmother took care of me.
Mhm.
And it's such a, it's so like, not weird, but it's like mirroring. Now I'm taking care of her
Right.
when she needs care. And she took care of me when I needed care. Even though we weren't super close growing up,
Right.
now I'm super attached to her.
Mhm.
It's like, at this point, I think I've been taking care of her for about 14 years. On it. 17.
Well, the older she got, the more involved you were.
Right.
Right.
So in the beginning, not so much here and there. And then the more I've gotten involved with her care and doctors, and now I'm with her all the time.
So how long has it been since she was diagnosed with like dementia and Alzheimer's? And did that come in,
Oh
in
my
there?
gosh. About that long ago?
About
maybe
14 years ago, you said?
maybe a little over.
Mm,
When my grandfather passed away, I saw signs of Alzheimer's,
right.
and I brought it up to my family, but you know, I don't know. I guess it was just hard to accept. And I guess it wasn't taken so seriously when I brought it up. So I just kind of, okay, that's your mom. You guys take care of it. At that point, I had already been working in the
I mean, at that
community.
point, like no one, I mean, you got, not to sound mean, but I mean, no, you guys aren't medical professionals.
Well, at the time I was working, I was already trained and certified to work with dementia patients.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of,
So you would know.
I would know, and I did know, and I always suspected it. And eventually it got to the
So they didn't want to take your word for it, or they wanted professional,
they
quote
wanted
unquote.
professional, quote unquote. And I'm not a doctor, obviously. I've said that so many times before, but I know the signs and I know the symptoms, and it was just, you guys might want to like look into it,
Right.
you know. And that was it. That's all I said. It's like, okay, I have told you my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You guys do with that what you will. So I probably would have a hard time myself if somebody told me like, "Hey, I think your mom has something, going on. Maybe check her." I would have probably had the same reaction, like, no,
Right.
because nobody really wants to accept the fact that, um, your parent has an illness that you can't fix with medication or surgery. So of course, it's not the easiest thing to hear from someone. So I wasn't shocked, when they told me that. It was just like, okay, I just, thought I'd give a little input.
Mm.
But dealing with watching somebody slowly decline is probably one of the hardest things that I've experienced,
Mm-hmm.
because it's different when you have a client that's not your relative.
Right, because you're not attached.
I'm not attached. And this is my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've been taking care of her for 14 years. So I see all the work and all the love and all the things that I've poured into her just draining from her. And it's a hard thing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really been open with my family about my feelings. Like I said, I'm trying to kind of keep my, I guess, medical mentality. And it's the hardest thing that I've had to do, because I've never experienced this, with anybody. Like I said, I didn't experience that with my grandma. I experienced it one other time with another relative last year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different because this is somebody that I've had every day, 5-6 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're always
I'm
together.
always together with her. So now the thought of her potentially not being around, or not if she comes out of this, she's not going to be even at 80% at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be lucky to get her to 60% of what she was able to do before.
Right.
And that's if everything ends up going the way that we're planning it. But, things don't always go the way that we planned them.
They don't.
And that is so hard to accept and embrace when it's somebody that you love. You went through the same thing with your wife. What was your experience with that? Or your first wife, I should say.
Well, it was terrible. And it was actually two instances. The first was, I think I had just came back. I used to live in Puerto Rico because we had separated.
Right.
And decided to get back together. And I don't know, I think it was a diabetic coma or shock, or I don't know exactly what it was. And she also got uh, some skin eating disease or some kind of something in her leg.
Right.
It was terrible. She was in the ICU for maybe a month.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, it could have even been longer. And it was every day at the hospital,
Right.
and it was like they didn't think she was gonna even make it. Like
Mm-hmm.
they said they even sent a I guess the hospital's therapist or whatever to check
Right.
on me.
Yeah.
And as soon as the therapist saw me, she looked at me and she's like, "You look terrible." Like,
Well, of course, you're going through something that's really traumatic.
so she just sat and talked to me, and they were basically telling me that to keep it in the simplest terms, there was like a tornado hit inside of her, and her whole like systems were just like going haywire.
Right.
So, anyways, there was every day. I mean, I barely ate. I slept on benches and floors and uncomfortable chairs.
Right.
And any free time I had that wasn't work, I was at the hospital.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm going through right now, and you know.
Hmm. And then there was the possibility that she wouldn't even get out of it,
Right.
which after multiple surgeries, and I even had one surgeon come up to me and tell me that what bad shape she was in, and that he doesn't even think she's gonna make it. And that one struck me because he said it so like nonchalantly and like he didn't care.
Right.
Like it was just a slab that they brought in.
Right.
And I was like, whatever, okay. But she pulled through that time, she did. And things seemed to be okay. And I kind of touched on this story in past episode way back. The second time, she was having an issue, and at one point she couldn't walk, or all of a sudden, like it hurt to walk or something. So she had to be rushed to the ER. Long story short, she ended up with stage 4 cancer in her abdomen, which started spreading to her organs. And for those out there that don't know, when you're stage 4, the chances are very, very slim.
Right. That's basically the terminal.
Yeah, that's
stage.
terminal cancer. I mean, they really can't do anything. So, she was in the hospital, and it was just trips to the hospital, any free time, whatever. It was, like I said, it was horrible. But this time it was more dire. So it was like, I remember the one day, well, the day that she passed, I was home. I got a phone call. It told me that I had to get down there to the hospital. They had moved her downstairs in the ICU, and she was on a machine, of course, because she was just done. And then at one point, I mean, the nurses would come in, do their thing, clean the tubes. And I mean, people who have seen people on life support or anything know what the routine is. So the doctor came in, and he looked me dead in the face, and he's like, gave me the whole speech about, just letting her go, and keeping her around is doing more damage than good. And they know it's a hard decision to make, but they need my permission to do it.
Right.
So they wanted to know if I wanted to keep her on life support, or do they want me to pull the plug on it?
Right.
And it was like a decision I had to make right there.
Yeah.
So the doctor looked at me, and he's like, he's of course apologizing, and they tried to do what they can do, but she's done. She's like, there's
Right.
nothing they can do.
Right.
So I just kind of put my head down, and I sobbed, and then I told him to go ahead and pull the plug.
Right.
So of course they start, doing their thing, and then at one point I grabbed her while she was passing away. So she passed away while I was holding her, and then it was, you could just feel her body get heavy,
Right.
and then I mean her eyes. If you were to see her eyes before, they were like she wasn't there. Like it was like her eyes were just forget it,
Right.
dead empty. And then like I said, she got heavier as I held her, and then she died. And then of course they call it, I think it was like 10:36 in the morning, and they put the sheet over her. And
Right.
then at one point, I think they told us to get out. We had to get out,
Right.
and then that way they can do what they need to do to her, and then wheel her down to the morgue.
Right.
So it's as much as you, and I had doctors and nurses and all, and the people there were great. The hospital she was in, however, is not very well. That's that's a whole nother story. The area
At
we
this
live in.
point, that hospital still doesn't have a good reputation at this
No, it
point.
doesn't
No,
really have a good reputation. And they were in the news for some stuff.
not too long ago.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, as much as you think you're prepared for it, it's still not easy. And
course,
it's
yeah.
like once it happens, then it's like, okay, now you got to deal with this,
Right.
and you think you're ready. But I mean, we're humans, right? That's how it is, especially when it's someone you're attached to. And my situation's a little bit different because, especially now in my older age and going through a bunch of stuff, and we've kind of touched on this in other episodes, and I really don't want to take this episode, I'm not trying to hijack it from Gloria, but it's yeah, I mean it's not easy. It's not. I mean, but at the same time, you can get over it, and wounds will heal.
Right. Of course.
They sure will.
Right.
That's what some people, I mean, you just see the situation in front of you. And yeah, I know it's rough. And I know seeing people that you love in a bad way, sick, I know it's hard. But I mean, I guess you gotta, you prepare yourself, but you're never prepared.
Of course not. We're never prepared to kind of watch somebody we love
Right.
and have memories with, whether good or bad, pass on like that.
Right.
Especially when it's sudden like that. Sudden but not sudden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, well, with your grandmother, it's just been
Progressive.
she's getting older, and
Right.
she's not, like what we touched before, she's not getting any younger. Doesn't make it any less, it doesn't lessen it at all. I
Of
mean,
course not.
but it is part of life, right? It's like kind of, we touched on it before, where it's like you start off as an infant, a baby, where people take care of you, feed you,
Right.
whatever. And then you live your life, and then you get to the age where it starts to regress to that.
Right. You go back to, being taken care of. And I think one of the things with my grandmother is that it's hard to see her like that because, like I said, she was always like so strong and like always working the fields and just, they lived in Mexico. They used to travel back and forth between the U.S. and Mexico.
Right.
And my grandmother was always strong. Like she,
Yeah.
always gung ho, always moving.
Well, I mean, the shades of that are still showing, right?
Right.
Because she's not going anywhere.
No,
She refuses.
she refuses to go. And it's like, that's okay with me. She can stay as long as she wants to. But the reality is that nobody's forever,
Right.
And I guess my biggest fear is that she'll decline so quick and then that's it. You know,
Which is a possibility.
of course,
Yeah.
again, with my medical training and my medical understanding, I know the consequences of certain choices and decisions, you
Right.
know? And I guess I'm so relieved when I walk in and I wake her up
Mm-hmm.
and she has like this smile. Like the first thing she does is she opens her eyes and she just has this big smile, you know? And I was like, oh, Grandma, you're awake. And it's just like, as the day progresses, she just starts to kind of fall back asleep, and then it's impossible to wake her up.
Mm-hmm.
So in the morning, I'm so glad that at least, you know, if I don't get to interact with her throughout the day because she's sleeping or she's tired, at least I have those precious moments when I walk in and it's like she smiles and I'm like, who am I? She's like, oh, you're Gloria. I was like, what am I? She's like, you're my granddaughter.
Mm.
You know, and that comforts me that at least for now, she still knows who I am.
Yeah.
You know, she might not recognize a lot of other people, you know, like her kids all the time or,
Right.
you know, the other grandkids, but the fact that she still at least recognizes me and my mom and my aunts, maybe not all at once, that kind of, I don't want to say it sparks hope in me, but it gives me relief, you know, to know that she still kind of has it in her to interact with us for those few precious moments in the morning.
Mm.
You know, this morning was so good. Yes, there was 3 days ago we were unsure of which way she was going to go. And then this morning, yesterday, I'm sorry, the numbers went back down and we were like, man, like this is so like hard. And then today I walk in and the nurse is like, "Oh my God, Gloria, I'm so happy you're here." She's like, you know, she was like, when your grandma sees you, she perks up. She's like, and I've been trying to wake her up to give her meds, and she just won't wake up. And the second I walked in and I said, "Grandma, get up," she opened her eyes and she smiled. And I was like, "Who am I?" She's like, "You're Gloria." I was like, "What am I?" You know, that's our routine. And, you know, she's like, I don't know where the numbers are, but she just, you know, looks a little different today. I was like, yeah, she does, you know, not in a bad way. She just looked different. And unfortunately I missed the doctor because I went to go use the restroom and when I came back he had already left.
Right.
So I was like so worried. I was like, man, I don't know where her numbers are at, you know. I need to figure it out. And I was so nervous because I really thought that she was gonna keep going down. Oh, excuse me. And then it turns out that her kidneys are functioning at 100%.
Mm.
And her blood count, the blood count had gone up. And it needs to be at a certain number and she's not necessarily there,
Right.
but she jumped from being on the lower end to being on the not necessarily better end, but
So
moving in the right direction.
So she's on the mend right now.
Yes, but we have
That's
to we have to be realistic and know that it could change at any time. Just because of her age and you know, and that's the thing. It's been like a roller coaster.
Right.
And I'm so glad that, you know, people are making an effort to come spend time with her. And I guess that's the mistake that we make as humans. Is like we always think we have more time. And
That
we
is true.
always think that, oh, there's tomorrow and oh, I haven't
Tomorrow is never guaranteed.
No, and
Never.
that is the biggest takeaway is like we don't have as much time as we think. And I hate to sound like that person, but life is precious. You know,
It is.
and I savor all these little moments and all these little victories with my grandma. You know, there's some days where I come home and I'm just like so tired and just so ready to go to sleep.
Mm.
And then there's days like today where, you know, my family's there, so I got a little break and I'm home for a little bit, you know? But it's like it's been an experience. To say the least, it's been an experience. And I guess, like I said, there's nothing I can do on my end, but just kind of let things happen the way that they're supposed to happen.
I mean, really, that's all you can do, right?
What can I do?
Right.
You know,
But like you said, just and all the little positive, the wins and everything, just focus on them.
I know,
Hold on
and
to
I think that's what's helping me along is focusing on the little wins,
hmm
but always being realistic and knowing that
I think that's important to be
to be realistic. See, the thing that I keep reminding my family about is like we have to have realistic goals for my grandmother, health wise, mental wise, and
I mean, yeah, she's like 90 years old.
yeah, she's
so,
90.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, the fact that she even made it to 90 is an awesome feat.
Yeah, I mean, the expectancy's like 75,
And
78.
she's about to be 90.
And she went way past.
And she went way past,
Yeah.
you know? And if she's here a little bit longer, I'm going to savor those moments even more.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you don't know how much time you have. So you need to make the best of it.
I mean, and it also goes for, doesn't even necessarily just pertain to someone who's in their elder years. I mean,
No,
that's
it's
anyone. Yeah.
Anything,
Yeah, anything, yeah.
anything. You know, I don't know if I've ever talked about this before, but you know King of the Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was this one episode. I don't remember the gist of the episode, but there was something that happened to where I don't remember the Asian character's name.
I really didn't get into that.
Right.
show.
Well, he was telling them a story about a man who was being chased by a lion, and then he jumps off a cliff,
Mhm.
and there was nothing to eat but one strawberry, and it was the most delicious strawberry that he had ever had in his life.
Mhm.
And of course, the guys were like, "What?" Like it didn't make sense. And then when I saw that, I was like, "That's kind of deep." And this was a cartoon. It's King of the Hill. Like, you know, I'm taking life lessons from King of the Hill. Like that's my maturity for you, you know. But they were showing an animation while the guy was telling the story, and I understood what it meant. It means that, you know, you need to savor every moment. And if it's that one strawberry that's right there to feed you, it's going to be the most delicious and precious thing.
Yeah.
You know? And I always think about that episode. Like, I know it sounds weird. Like, you know, I had a Zen moment on a cartoon show. But,
You never know when those moments come. I mean, they can come from anywhere.
right, you know,
Yeah.
and I carry that with me. Like, all the time, you know, like, and that popped into my head the other day. The most delicious strawberry, because it was his last
It was
strawberry.
Strawberry, yeah.
It was the only strawberry, and it was his
Mm.
last strawberry. So it was the most precious thing at that moment. And that's how I feel like I need to treat this. Like, this is the most precious moment, the most savory moment, you know. So I don't know. I just kind of wanted to share what I was going through. Maybe this is my way of venting.
No, I mean that's what this is what it's for. I mean, for everyone out there and for us and everyone. I mean, it's to share and to kind of discuss and deal with and come up with solutions. And the whole name of the podcast, Sessions and Lessons, right? We're having a session here and we're learning from it.
Right.
We're learning from each other.
Right. And like I said, just savor the moment with the people in your life. I know I say that all the time, but I mean it. You know, I honestly thought that I was going to break down and cry during this episode at some point. But I'm not. You know, and at some point I know
And if you do, it's fine.
right, of course. But at some point I
Right.
know I'm going to erupt, and it's just like, you know, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I just want to share. You know, and thank you guys for listening, and thank you guys for, you know, taking the time. I appreciate the family members that have been so supportive during this time.
Mhm.
You know, people that I never expected to come around have been coming around, and it's just it's sad that we wait until till things are falling apart to reach out to each other. And it's like,
Yeah,
don't wait till somebody's last moment to make them feel loved. Love them at the moment when they are alive.
Mhm.
And I think we'll close with that.
Yeah, so of course we hope everything, the best for everyone in the situation.
Yeah, I'll probably talk about an update,
Yeah, well,
either way.
update everyone.
Right.
All right, guys. So, thank you, Gloria, for that. And like I said, we just hope for the best with your grandmother and your family. And yeah, for sure. Hopefully everything happens, I guess, the way it's supposed to
The way
happen.
it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
And while we're at this and before we actually close out, I want to thank you for being like super supportive. Like you have been so awesome during this whole process. My family holds you to high regards. You are officially my mother's favorite human.
goes without saying. No, I mean,
So thank
that's
you.
why I'm here. I'm not, I love you very much and your family. And yeah, I mean, I want to see you guys in a good way. So, and that's why I'm here. I'm your shoulder to cry on. I'm your backup dancer. I'm your, all of that good stuff. Fun.
Now I'm starting to cry. We need to close this out.
All right, guys. So we're gonna leave it there so we can go get some tissue. Don't forget to visit the website sessionsandlessonsunscripted.com. And don't forget to drop us a line if it's suggestions or questions or anything. sessionsandlessonsmail@gmail.com. Visit us on the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all the good ones. And yeah, we're going to leave it there. So you want to add anything there at the end?
Be good to each other and enjoy and savor every moment of every day.
Yes. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. We will catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.